If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Sharon Caren. Sharon is a spiritual and intuitive Akashic master and guide. After a near-death experience at age 27, she became deeply connected to the spiritual world and the advantages of working with it. Her life's work is now in the Akashic records, helping people connect with their soul purpose, step into their personal power, and discover their path to a happy and fulfilled life. Sharon is known for her fluency and depth of spiritual wisdom, her mastery in identifying blockages and releasing old energies, and her compassionate, intuitive approach to transformation. She co-authored the Amazon best-selling book, Break Free to Peace, Love and Unity, and has been interviewed on shows such as Spirituality Raw and Karen Wright Live. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you so much for having me, Teresa. My heart is full.
Oh, wonderful. And my name is actually pronounced Carissa.
Carissa, I wondered. Yeah, thank you for correcting me. I wondered.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I love your logo in the background, that deep purple.
Thank you. I know, I love that too. The color is actually like the fifth or the sixth and seventh chakras is, kind of the deep purple indigo. So that is a really spiritual color. Mm-hmm. And it kind of opens up, we have the first three chakras, or the second three chakras. The first chakras are physical chakras, but the last three chakras are the spiritual chakras. And so that is why the lotus and, why the purple and the indigo colors is a high frequency.
Oh, wonderful. And I have heard that before about the purple is the representation of the divine, of spirituality, of ascension. So I definitely resonate with your meaning there. And I just have to say, when you said your heart is full, I felt my heart expand with you too. I feel like you are my soul sister. I know we haven't even started the interview yet. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I feel the same way. Yeah.
And I just feel like you could be a mentor for me, and with your wisdom and spiritual guidance. And there's a lot of overlap in what I do as a spiritual healer, meditation teacher, although I don't go into the Akashic records. So that is something that's a whole nother realm that I don't even touch. I don't have access to as far as I know. Maybe everyone has access to it, and we could go in deeper into that. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, because you said that, it's obvious that this is divine intervention.
It's so divine because I haven't even seen you on my calendar, and we're both like, what? Oh, you're on my calendar. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to meet you. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So it's so wonderful because these things that are divine in divine time happen however they happen, and they're supposed to happen, and that's why they do. So we don't have to question that. It's just about being present and knowing, having our deep knowings. When people don't just come to me for an Akashic reading, most of them have never even heard of the word before.
Oh,
But when people do, it's because they're listening to their still small voice. And that is the longing. It's like when people are ready.
mm-hmm.
And sometimes, people are suffering and they don't know why. They feel disconnected or whatever. And we're never disconnected. We all have the same stuff. We all come in with the same stuff. And it's not woo-woo, it's quantum physics. That is what everything is in the other dimension, which is where the Akashic records are in the other dimension. So we all come from there. Only when we come in, and so we're spirits having a human experience. And so when we come in and meld, when we decide, okay, we're going to have this lifetime and we're going to work with this and this, Earth isn't for sissies. Earth is a hard place. We don't, and we all sign up or we wouldn't be here. That's why there's nothing that really happens to us. It happens through us.
Because someone else said things happen for us, but yes. So this is a whole nother level happening through us.
Yes. So that's why when we're ready, some people are, some people aren't. It's all about the energy frequency that comes from the other dimension. And this is when I found the Akashic work. So back in the 70s, I did everything. I wanted to learn everything. I did my best. But when I would go to meditations or whatever, they would say, send these colored spinning discs. They would talk about these colored spinning discs.
Oh, is that like Buddhist meditation? What type of meditation?
No, that's just how people thought of the chakras, which it is actually Asian, because all those the people in that part of the world. I've always known about chakras, and they know, that's the acupuncture and all of those healing.
Yeah, the meridians.
And working with the chakras and all.
Yeah.
It's just that in the U.S., it's really not taught, except for the people that come over with those traditions and the ones that come in from their Akashic record that are supposed to be here now, which obviously I was one of them. And always just had a knowing, ever since I was a little girl, that I was supposed to be here. And certainly after my near-death and out-of-body experience, I knew that was the truth. I wasn't on a very good path. So we listen as best we can. And do the best that we can, because sometimes when we come in, it's so crazy as babies that we don't even, it's like, what am I doing here? Most of us feel that way, I think, at some point. And it's like, well, because there's something bigger, there's something more. So in the 70s, the way they taught things, everything was separate. And I knew that wasn't right.
Oh, interesting. You mean there was like a East philosophy, West philosophy, and different types of religions? Is that what you mean as separate?
Well, I think in the 70s in the US, it was just what was going on, and people were doing all sorts of things. And it was so interesting because they would tell me to send a grounding cord into the earth. And because I wasn't very grounded, and that's why I broke my neck, that's how I broke my neck. I didn't know how to ground, and I would ask him questions. How do I do that? Or what are these colored spinning discs? What does this have to do with it? No one could explain it to me.
Yeah, they're just like, this is the way it is.
Yeah, it's the way it is. It's all separate. And if you're not part of the group, then something's wrong with you. So I kind of grew up with that, thinking, well, I guess I'm just grounding cord deficient. I guess I just don't have what it takes. When that is the total opposite. We come in with everything and then we learn, we follow our spiritual pathway to expand into more. So the beauty of it was when my mother passed, and I was so upset about it.
And how old were you?
So it was about 25, 30 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my broken neck and my out of body experience. I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was a ways in between, but I always had a knowing. I always knew. Well, we've got the four clairs. We call them the four clairs. The claircognizant, which is clear knowing. I always had that.
I have that. That's my ability too. Yeah.
Yeah, claircognizant, clairsentient, clear feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling and the knowing, I always had that. And then as I started into practice and learning more and more and wanting to know more and more, and then of course the clairaudience is the clear hearing,
mm-hmm.
and then the clairvoyance, which is the clear seeing. So I had the other two. I listened, I had the audience the clairaudience next. And then I actually took psychic classes. And I was really good at it. People say, "Oh, you're so good at that." I said, but that's not my work. I think it's great. I like all of it, but that's not my work. So when my mother passed and she was earthbound, I had my first Akashic reading. And the woman that gave me the reading told me everything that I already knew, but gave it language. And that's how our mental body we need to learn things. Is with the language, because we have to bring it in the brain, and then of course we want to digest it down into our body. So as soon as I found that, I said, "Where do I sign up?" I said, "I'm in," and I have never looked back. And I've been doing this, for like 30 years. And because at that moment, it changed my entire trajectory, my entire life. And I knew it. And so, that's that knowing and that purpose. And we all came in unique beings. We all came in with the same stuff. Only we can choose whether it's something that we're going to do in this particular lifetime or not, because we don't have to. We can do whatever we would love. We can do anything that we want. That's the beauty of being human. It's not like I said, it's not for sissies. We really sign up for this. And sometimes people choose to do it, or sometimes they have such a hard time that they can't be present because they're having difficulty. But what I really help people do is to rediscover and reconnect to their purpose, and then know who they truly are. Like I tell everybody, we know these things, and then what we want to do is understand it, embody it, and see how that fits in this lifetime and how we're going to move forward. So I'm actually the person that helps reconnect if it's disconnected, or when somebody's ready to connect, then that's that place, that's that sweet spot. That people sometimes they don't even know why they call me.
Oh,
and it's
that's amazing. I love that. They just follow their intuition, and you're their hero to help them, to guide them. I want to go back to your near-death experience. You broke it down and you said it was because You weren't grounded. Did you feel that you were going in and out of other realities? Is that what you mean? Or what was happening?
No, I was like mostly up here in the
Yeah.
spirit.
In the
So,
etheric realm. Yeah.
and so that was a safe place for me, but
Yes.
not in a physical body. See, our physical body needs to live with ease.
Mm.
And if our physical body doesn't live with ease, we create dis-ease. That's why so many people are sick right now, because they don't understand the connection. Our energy body, our spirit body, brings energy in through our 7 chakras, the 7 archangels loyal to creator. We have the creator source within us. We already have it, only we forget. So then I help people with the breathe, ground, and remember, because we honor our physical body because we're here in it. It houses our soul. It's second most important. Soul's first, then the physical body. Otherwise, we can't be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got 2 more bodies. We have the emotional body, which is third, and that's a barometer, and that gives us whether we feel expansive or contractive. We don't have to think about it. We just can feel it in our body. So if we're not, if we're not above a certain frequency, we can't maintain a body with ease. So when I talk to people about chakras, it's not just about spinning discs and it's not about grounding cords. It's how do we do that? How do we embody that? How do I help someone else get into their body? Well, I become a master at grounding because I was out of my body up here looking down thinking, well, I guess I'm out of here. And then suddenly I was pulled back in. At that moment, I never took it for granted.
Wow. That's beautiful. What happened?
Well, I spun out on the freeway.
Driving.
I had been divorced married at 19, divorced at 24. Then I was at 27. I didn't date or anything. And then finally after that time, I started dating, and I thought this guy was really nice and everything. And so I was working as a cocktail waitress in Cafe Bohemia in Hayward, California.
Okay.
And
that's Northern California.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he comes walking in with this 6-foot tall redhead hanging on his arm. And I was there with my friends and we were going to have fun and everything. And I couldn't speak. I just told my friends, I'm out of here. And I walked out to the car. Should not have driven. Yeah. Should not have done that. Got on 680 on the freeway, 4 lanes of freeway. Spun out.
Oh my God.
Crossed all 4 lanes and hit the center divide.
Wow.
Came crashing in. And I mean, I barely remember it. It was kind of dark and everything, but then I was up above, up above my, looking down at my body.
Yeah, your body. Mm-hmm.
And that was, like I said, I just thought, okay, I'm out of here. And then suddenly I was pulled back. Then I knew.
Yeah.
I wasn't done yet.
And they give you a message. Did you get a message? You're not done yet. They say like, okay, more work to do.
I'm sure because see, I wasn't grounded in my body, so I couldn't live like that. Yeah. So that was my, okay, get to it or get out of it. This is it. That's what I really felt in my heart. I had a broken neck. I was in a body cast for 3 months. And
that's intense.
And
wow. And look at you now. Amazing.
By the grace of God go I.
Yeah.
Totally. Because I actually had to go, not only the first time when I spun out and hit the center divide, go across 4 lanes, 4 lanes on the freeway on 680. But then back around, I was stuck on the center divide. I went back and forth and back and forth. And then I did the U-turn again to get off the freeway, and everything was dark. And I was trying to hang on to the steering wheel because I had 2 flat tires. I drove my car home.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I was looking for me because she took me to the hospital, and I was in there for 5 hours, and they sent me home. And so then I went home, and the next day they called me back and they said I had to come back. And I said, I'm not coming back because I don't feel good. And they said, you have to come back. So then my friend took me back. They had me, as soon as they let me walk through the doors by myself, had me down flat on a stretcher with sandbags on the sides of my head, and then in a dark room. And then the doctor came in and said, you have a broken neck. And I laughed because I said, right, I've been right. Like, people that break their necks are dead. He said, well, some of them are, but you're not. I said, I know I'm not. So anyway, that whole thing was surreal.
Wow.
For sure. And, it's life.
Did you feel like some supernatural abilities coming in after that near death because you were on the other side?
Well, and what else is, there was a friend of mine that right after my body cast, she took me to church with her. And there was this pastor, and she took me up, and he said, let's pray together. And so, he was also facilitating, you see, like people that came out of the woodwork that were there to help me or guide me. So he came for the 3 months I was in the body cast. He came once a week. And what he had me do is visualize my bones in my neck healing.
Wow. What a high level pastor. I am so impressed.
I'm telling you, everyone came. All that I had this doctor that said, if you can heal naturally, you're 27, you won't have, any problems. But if we have to do surgery, that's another story. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was visioning with him, we're doing this thing, we're going to get out of this thing, and we're ready to rock and roll.
So yeah, definitely. So definitely that belief in yourself. Okay. So now at that point, did you start accessing the Akashic records, or that was with your mom's passing?
That was with my mom's passing. So at that point, that was early on in the 70s, when I was trying to learn all those things that didn't connect for me.
Right.
But I didn't give up. I was still doing this stuff. But the grounding, see, that was the key. So I actually taught myself. That's why I become a master at grounding. Yeah. And the mantra, the breathe, ground, and remember, breathing in the sacred breath down to your feet, connecting with Gaia, the Mother Earth. We have gravity. We are safe. And remembering that we're all luminous light beings, powerful beyond measure.
I love that. That's so amazing. I noticed that in my clients that sometimes they don't even realize that they need to ground. It's really interesting. Yeah. So now let's talk about your accessing the Akashic records. So someone accessed it for you first, right?
Yep. What I do with people is exactly what she did with me. I called her. I said, my mother passed and something's wrong. I feel her really heavy in my space. I said, I was supposed to have the reading the week before, but then my husband and I went away, and then we came back and my mother died. But my mother wanted it that way. She gave me so many gifts from the other side because she did it the way she wanted to do it. And we all get to choose, you see. So we all get to do whatever we want. So I called the woman and I said, can we do this right away? She said, absolutely. The next day we did. And I was just, that was it. Because everything she told me, I already knew in my heart and soul. So she
Mm.
wasn't telling me, when I work with you, I don't tell you anything that you don't already know, but it's a system, just like quantum physics, just like the whole universe. Everything's a system. Everything's connected. And that's what just really, really did it for me. So right then it was like, this is my work. Got into it right away, got through the training. I do the training, Akashic training certifications for people that are ready, that
Mm.
want to learn how to access the records as well, which is so amazing because it absolutely has changed my life and so many people that I just have the pleasure, to meet and work with. There's nothing that gives me more life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so what are the Akashic records? Is that a record of our entire lives? Is it past lives as well?
So the Akashic record is when our soul sparked. And when our soul sparks, that's where we really get connected with our soul group, because we all have a soul group, because we were all in different star systems when all this was happening. So I don't know if you probably heard of star seeds or
I have.
yeah. There's lots of different terminology for what people call it, but basically the Akashic record, everything has a record. Everything comes from the other dimension. And the record is past, present, and future. And that's what's so interesting. It's everything from the time that our soul sparked. So
Oh, wow. So it's multiple lives.
it's the soul.
It's the soul.
It's when the soul comes into being, that is then has an Akashic record. So, and we're talking about any soul, any dimension, any whatever, not humans always, or whatever it is. It's everything. It's everything. So we all have that stuff, the same stuff. It's not different. And there's a document that I use, I don't know if you've heard of this, but David R. Hawkins was a scientist and a doctor. And he actually developed in his foundation muscle testing.
Oh, yeah, I do use muscle testing. I like that. And did he do Power versus Force?
Yes.
Yeah, that's his book. I love that book.
And in that book, so I have the map of consciousness that I'm really happy to email to you. And then, I do in my coaching programs, we do a lot of work with that document, because how do you explain energy to someone and the different levels?
Yeah, it's so clearly explained. You're right. Yeah. And the measurement tool, like what measure Jesus was, to give some comparison. And yeah.
Well, David R. Hawkins in this lifetime, when he passed in 2012, became enlightened. And I'm not saying he's the only one, but he's the only one that I know coming from a scientific background that has become enlightened. And the beauty of that is he gave us so many gifts that really explain just what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because nobody else before could explain any of this, because it's not woo-woo. It's not religion. It's not those things. It's science.
Yeah.
Okay. Spirituality, universal spirituality.
Universal spirituality. That's right. So when you say he became enlightened, do you mean right before he died or after he died?
He was already enlightened when he was, writing some of the books, when he was training.
Yeah, it seems like that. That's why we're so attracted to it, because it's such a high vibration. Like it just feels sacred.
Exactly. And so what a gift. What a gift he gave to us in the US, particularly, because we don't come, from that other background, where everything.
The Chinese wisdom and all of that.
Yes. Yeah. Buddhism and in China and in India.
In India. So oh my God, the history.
Yeah, because when you are asking about the Akashic record, Akasha is the Sanskrit word for heaven above, the ethers,
Mm-hmm.
the energy realm.
Yeah.
That's what Akasha, that's a
Yeah.
Sanskrit, and that's why it's called the Akashic records. And other people have worked in those realms, um, where they've actually gone to sleep. The sleeping prophet. Now his name isn't popping into my head,
Oh,
but
I don't know who that is. I've never heard of him.
yeah, but he read the Akashic records. But we've come so far uh, from back in the early 1900s. He was called the sleeping prophet. He would go to sleep and he would get a lot of health. He would help people
Oh.
with health issues
Mm-hmm.
and so on.
Yeah.
And now we don't have to go to sleep to access the records
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, my crown chakra is like tingling right now, and I'm feeling like this pressure on it. Is that interesting? Do you have that effect on people sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think because it's activating things that you
Yes.
already know, and it's like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So
congratulations and good listening. You've done a great job, right?
thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. I appreciate that recognition. I went to Egypt earlier this year, and I actually accidentally or divinely bumped my head on one of the pyramids. The one that was housing the goddess. So they have the three pyramids in Giza. So they have the king and the queen. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. But they have the Sphinx there, and they call it the Hall of Records. And they charge a lot to go in there. It's like a special extra thing. And I didn't know about it really, that I could even do that. But it feels similar. It feels like the Akashic records. Have you heard of that? Or I don't know. I'm just like asking.
I've been to Egypt.
Uh-huh.
Back in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered, so up to the, up until now, I was really going to all of these sacred places.
Oh, okay.
I was drawn to going there
Mm-hmm.
and having my human body experience and connected to my spirit, to my spirit body. But yes, past lives. I had lots of past lives. In Egypt, I went to Israel a couple of years ago and walked with Jesus. And I mean, these experiences are like nothing else because we're in a physical body, we're honoring our physical body, and we're feeling those sacred places and that sacred energy.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't just walking through, the old Jerusalem. We were walking with Jesus with the cross on his arm. And I'm tingling right now, just talking about it.
Yeah.
But yes, so there can be a thin veil, and the more that we lean into it, the thinner the veil is, and the more experience that we can have. It's almost like having one foot in and one foot out.
Oh, interesting. Okay, but do you think the Akashic records have anything to do with the Hall of Records in Egypt?
Oh, yes, because
yes. Okay.
Everything came from the same place. Everything comes from the same place. It's not different.
Oh,
and so
that's amazing.
I actually have an interview that I do with healers, and I call it Sharon's Hall of Records.
Oh, I love it. I love that name. That is so powerful. You goddess. Yeah.
So I'll have to bring you on. I'll have to bring you
Oh,
on.
I would love
But,
that. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah. We'll
So,
make a time.
oh, I'd love that. So, why are the Akashic records important? I mean, is it important to be aware of these records to heal, or what do you think about that?
Everything's connected. So now, not all people are going to be able to take in this information in the same way and benefit from it. Is it important to heal? Well, I think it's the best and the quickest way
The
because
best way. Yeah. Okay.
because you get all of it in the reading. So in other words, it's all your information or my information from my records, all of my personality stuff. It was all affirming. It's like, I know, my cell group, oh yeah, and she was telling me everything. But then the clearing portion, we're all supposed to have a force field of light up around us, and most of us light beings had it when we came in. But like I said, Earth is the hard place. So what
It
happens
got
is
broken down.
then we don't have our force field of light up. When we don't have our force field of light up, people are taking our energy. Now, no one can take our energy. However, and the only difference between a light being and a dark being is the way we get energy.
Okay.
So a light being stands in the light of creator, our spirit body, and we get our energy from the creator source. We get it, into the spirit body, which is the chakra system. See, nobody would be here if there wasn't a way to get the energy into our physical body. So that's what the chakras do when we come in to take a human body. That's where it transfers over from the chakras spinning 100% front and back, which is what we want. That's all the energy coming. And then it transfers to our physical body. And our physical body, again, has to live with ease. Otherwise, we create dis-ease. So is it really helpful and imperative, for healing? Well, it's certain there isn't a quicker way. There isn't a better way, because not only do I get to talk to you about who you are on the soul level that you already know. However, we get to clear away the stuff that may be attached to us that does not belong to us. That's the stuff we get, that gets cleared away on the Akashic record level, on the soul level. So in other words, we don't have to keep cutting cords. We don't have to keep going for clearings. No, once it's done and we have, and I explain in detail how we keep our energy up, that's all we need to know, because we'll never let it down. See, we have to engage in dark energy in order for our energy to be compromised. That's why I'm saying we all have the same stuff. We're all powerful. I want you to remember that, the luminous light being powerful beyond measure, because when we come from that powerful place, no one can take our energy away from us. And that is what's going to keep our physical body alive, because the energy comes from the chakras into our body's nervous system. And in our nervous system, that's the fight or flight. And if we're in fight or flight, we're not going to be very healthy over a period of time. So it's crucial, really. And I love to be able to explain it as best I can, because it's not for nothing. It's for the most important thing is to keep us alive here on the planet. And like you and I, we're working with this. And probably you may remember in the map of consciousness, when David Hawkins said, when we get to 300 or above, each one of us light beings are 300 or above,
Mm-hmm.
We each uplift 90,000 people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an inside job. It's not about doing it out here. It's all about coming in. Because if we're not maintaining that high frequency, see, just we're raising the frequency of the planet and everyone in it for taking care of ourselves, loving ourselves, being the model of what universal spirituality is all about.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that's going to happen. It doesn't happen any other way.
That's beautiful. Okay, so now I'm curious because there's a scale. Everybody, if you check out this book, David Hawkins, there's a scale. Did you ever test your number? What's your number?
Well, there's two numbers actually.
Okay.
And I want to, because we're human, right? So
oh, we're biased. When we test ourselves, we have a little bit of bias, maybe. I don't know.
No. It's so we're human, so we fluctuate.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
so we have
that makes sense. That makes sense.
So there's the human part of us that can go in and out, but then we can turn it on a dime by saying, if we would, this horrible thing happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And then we go, oh, cancel. What would I love? What would I love? What would I love? When I say the love word, love is 500.
Yeah.
Love heals all. So we can come out of that negative, that subconscious mind and that negative thought pattern. It is fast. It's notice what you're noticing. I'm sharing this with everybody because if you use this, it's going to change your life.
Oh yeah. That's so amazing.
That's why I wrote the chapter, Raise Your Frequency, Change Your Life. That's the way that it happens.
I see. Yeah. In that international best-selling book, Break Free. So yeah, check that out. And I'll put that in the show notes too, so people can buy that book. Because I just tested myself. I just muscle tested myself, and I haven't tested myself in a long time. And I came in a 400.
Great.
So, but it's like, there's always more because 500 is love, right. Pure love. But it's just interesting as I'm ascending, as I'm elevating my consciousness, the healings that I do for people are faster. Like sometimes I can even just think about, like I can call on the space and I don't even have to like do a healing for someone and it happens. Is that true for you too? Wow.
Well, a lot of times, even before I do the reading and clearing, when someone just signs up and says,
that's amazing.
Seriously. Now, not the clearing portion, I sit down and do that and then explain it all, because for this human mind needs to wrap around, something more solid so that, like I said, that was then and this is now. So, whatever was before is gone. But sometimes people just keep those same old thoughts going and they keep living in that same story.
Yeah.
And that's what, so it's important for me to work with people so that they can understand that part. And sometimes people have a spiritual practice, sometimes they don't. But I always invite them, I've got a 12-week coaching program because it's how do you embody that your Akashic work?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen, just because you had one reading or clearing.
Right. You have to practice.
You get the basics of all of that, and then it moves from there. But it can happen for people very quickly when they're ready, for sure.
Wow, that's amazing. And do you notice that children are just like attracted to you and they recognize you?
They do, because the veil is thin.
Yeah.
And there's new souls that have started incarnating the crystals in the late 80s and beginning of the 90s. And they came in with an extra strand of DNA, the crystals. and they came in to be the world leaders, you see.
Oh my God. I think one of these kids yesterday came up to me, and I think he was one of those kids
I'm
because
sure.
I could see it in his eyes. And he told me, I think he knew I understood him. And he said, I have X-ray vision. I can see through people. And I believed him.
Of course. Of course. And these kids, they need different things. They need a different world. And that's why it's so crucial right now for those of us that understand what's going on to really support and do our best at making that happen for them. Because that's the only way that the planet's going to be sustainable, is to make all of those changes and to allow the crystals to do their work, which is coming next, the next generations. Back in the 70s, we talked about the crystals coming, the age of Aquarius, the songs, the age of Aquarius and all that back in the 70s. And then suddenly I'm now reading crystals that are young adults. They're like in their teens or early 20s or 20s. I'm actually reading the crystals that I only
oh my God
heard about.
And you're like so excited. Like, I honor you. Oh, that's amazing. I don't have awareness of a person if they're a crystal or not. I haven't tuned into that ability. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can if you want. Everybody has their own work.
Yeah.
And the way they want to do that. We get to do that any way that we would love.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be, but well, all of that information, what I can really share with you is that is everything that's in the Akashic record. So when we learn,
oh, got it.
all of that comes from there.
Yeah.
So if you want, and even if it doesn't look like, doing Akashic record reading, sometimes people want to do that just for their own spirituality. Sometimes they do want to do a business out of it. It's all good, whatever you would love.
Yeah.
There's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that, you absolutely can. So it's all open, it's open for whatever you would love.
Oh, you're the sweetest. Oh my God. I just love you. Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about the soul for a little bit. How do you rediscover and reconnect to your soul? And is there a difference between your soul and your spirit?
Well, I use it in the same.
Oh, okay. It's the same for you. Got it.
Yeah. Spirit, body, soul, and different work, use different words, I believe. I've heard people say, and I go, oh, well, when they explain it to me, it's like, okay, well, the words I use for that is this. But the spirit body, the soul body, the etheric body, to me, all of that's the same, because it is all the same in the other dimension, because everything is energy. So it's not different. We have the energy body, the etheric body that's in the non-physical, whatever you want to call that. And then it's my understanding that when our soul comes in, we go into the Diva Chan and we make, contracts and connections with other souls to do our hard work when we come into this life. And it's my understanding that between 7 and 9 months is when the soul actually merges with the baby being in the womb.
Oh, really?
And then, yeah. And then we come out of the chute. And I always tell people, I said, want to know why babies are screaming when they come out? They're like, oh my God, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? This is crazy,
Oh my God, that's so funny. And some take longer to come out, and like my son, and then my daughter shot out like a rocket, like was so ready, like here I am.
Totally. Totally.
That's
Yeah. And so that's my understanding of how it works. But what's in the non-physical is everything else. And then, we can go to different star systems. We can take whatever body, that we want. There's no limit. I think it is so expansive that it's hard for a mental brain to actually comprehend. But just understand that that's what it is.
I see.
And if we don't, right now, being here now in the physical, that we know we've probably been a whole lot of other places. I know, most of us that recollect, we know that we have, and we've done all these other things. But see, if we had all of that memory, see, that's the past or the future. The only thing we have is present time. Now. We don't have, the past is gone, is already past. And the present is what we have, the present time, the present moment. And then the future hasn't happened yet. And the beauty, see, the reason that I explain to people, it's so important that you write a vision for what you would absolutely love in your life, because whatever it is you think about and you write about and you say is what you're going to create. So the future doesn't mean, a lot of people feel that oh, well, I'm destined to die, I'm destined to do.
Yeah.
No, it's really
good.
not.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was going to be one of my questions. Yeah.
It's not that. It's not that. We're here in this body. We can do anything that we would love. And whatever it is. And we can do our purpose any way that we would love to. So there's no right or wrong way. It's all open for our second chakra, our imagination, our creative visualization, Archangel Zadkiel, and the second chakra. Anything that we can think of, we can have, and create. That is the truth. There are no limits.
Yeah.
That is freedom. That is power. That's what I want everyone to know. We all have that.
Right. Because that's not like, your future is not in the Akashic records, right? Because you create it.
Yeah. Oh, well, unless you don't. I mean, unless you create the other stuff, which is what you end up manifesting, even if you hate it.
Yeah.
You see, we're going to create it somehow. It may as well be something that we would love, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're going to create something we don't love, why would we do that? But see, that's what people are doing, because they don't know, because they don't believe, or they don't feel they have the power to do anything that they would love. I mean, that is just my noticing. Because wouldn't you think that everybody would want to do that? But see, if they don't believe it, if they don't think it and believe it, they can't create it.
Yeah, because those are the first steps. Thinking, then believing,
and then creating.
And then creating it. Oh, that's so amazing. That's like the most inspiring thing I've heard ever, I think.
Yeah, it really is. And that's why, I'm like with the megaphone, and I want to share what I can, but people have to want it and have to be open to it. It's not about me. I just know what's possible and share that, because it was in my life. I mean, it was a miracle that I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It is a miracle. So, yeah. And so what's next for you?
Well, I've got some exciting things, on the horizon. What I'd like to leave as a legacy is some sort of a Akashic record foundation.
Oh, Oh, that's beautiful.
Something and so big I don't even know how big it is right now. I'm talking to people because the more people I'm training in the records,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just dripping that out there.
Mm.
Because because I believe when we have that set up, that it's going to change everything.
Yeah. It
And
really
that's
feels big to me. Like I was seeing even like a stone sculpture, like yeah, like a whole area where you're really getting people to bring awareness to it.
yes, I would love that because look, just what one person, how it changed everything in my life.
Mm.
I know what's possible. And that's what I want for everyone. If they would love that, if they want that, of course,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with me. But I mean, I want them to have the freedom and the power to do and have everything that they would love. That's what I want, to share the love and light. And also, we didn't talk about this, but I have a gift for your listeners.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, did you download the chakra guide?
I did. I downloaded it, and I'll also include this amazing free gift that Sharon has offered to all of you. I'll put that in the show notes too, with your
Okay.
website and how to connect with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just SharonCaren.com.
Uh-huh.
And yep, and I've got a lot of information up there. I also have a private Facebook group, which is which is healing. It's a private group that anybody can sign up if they want
Yeah.
to.
And you
Healing.
can send me the link. You can send me the
Okay.
put it in the show notes so people can click on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Healing from Trauma Support Group.
Oh, okay.
And
Wonderful.
I have a lot of information in there as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
amazing. Oh, that's so nice. And so, yeah, that's just a free group that you put together.
yes, it's free and it's but I made it private because I just want to make sure that all the people are in there. I create the sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone isn't going to be upholding the sacred space, that's the only reason that it's private, is we just, ask a couple of questions, but actually for your people, if you just want the link and for them, not to answer the questions, whatever you would love.
Oh, no, that's fine. I think they need to answer the questions. That's important. But we can still give the instructions and everything. Well, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you and just hearing your wisdom and more about the Akashic records and your wonderful purpose to get it out there to more people. So thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you so much. It was just my pleasure, just a pleasure, and giving me so much life. So I love you all, and I thank you so much for listening, and want you to know I'm always here for support. SharonCaren.com.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you to all the amazing listeners of the Zen Success Show. Because of you, we've reached over 101,000 average listeners a week, and we are thrilled with the response from our audience. It would really help if you could rate the show on iTunes and give us your feedback. If something really resonates with you about this episode, send my team an email at carissa@carissasims.com, and I'll connect you with a guest, or we can set up a free 15-minute reading. I look forward to hearing from you.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Zen Success is also available on the radio in select markets through amfm247.com. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to zensuccessshow.com to help you on your Zen Success journey, and join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.